So we got to look at the process of safety versus safety medicine. Process of safety versus safety medicine. I'm going to give you a reframe here. This is for therapists, my therapeers. So with our clients, we want to frame this stuff as a process of building the capacity to self-regulate. Safety cues are not medicine. It is not a dose of something to get you through the moment. I mean, it is, yeah, but overall, it's more than that. It is a process to build the capacity to self-regulate. It's not a pill that we take to feel better. I mean, I keep catching myself. Yes, it can be, but ideally it's something that we build over time. And when I'm talking about the process of safety, it's more than just coping with the present moment. It's more than just applying a cue of safety medicine. It's a process. We got to build, we have to exercise the capacity to feel safe. I had a session with a teen client. She came in a pretty panicked state. Wasn't able to talk about why, and didn't want to talk about why, actually. She said, no, I'm not going to go into it. It's like, okay, fine. So we just have to deal with the present moment and the panicky feelings. No problem solving, nothing like that. We just got to deal with the somatic pieces of this stuff. So what I did was I had fidgets ready to go. I have some fidgets in my office. I had nature on the screen, like I mentioned before. Usually in session, I'll have something I find on YouTube of like aerial fly over of a beach, or for this session in particular, I had this 10-hour video on YouTube of forest scenes, and it would change every 10 minutes or so, maybe, to a different scene or different location in the forest. So we had the nature scene on, we had fidgets. I was checking in with her about her breathing consistently through the session. I was checking in with her about her present moment sensations that she was having in her body in the session. So there was all these things that I was doing with her to help her ground herself in safety. We also, as she was looking at the screen with the nature, I would prompt her and say, how do you feel about this? And she would look at it. And I would say, if you were there, what would you be up to right now? And she would use her imagination to say what she'd be up to and who was there with her. And as the scene changed, I would ask her, in this scene, like, how do you feel about this one? And who's there with you now? And so we would use her imagination. We'd use the physical fidgeting. We would use breath check-ins, consciously slowing down breathing when we were able to. All these different things to help her to ground herself in safety. So we had things that could work in the moment. Any of those pieces can be helpful in the moment of a panic attack. But we also had all these pieces that could be taken and practiced on and developed further. Like, she could take these pieces and develop them further on her own, practice them at home, or even in class. You can do deep breathing in class. You can notice your somatic sensations in class. During this whole process, we were noticing the process of accessing safety. It's a long process. It's not all at once. It's not like I gave her safety cue medicine and she was good. No, it was a process. For us, I think it was a 60-minute session. And over that whole hour, we were able to see what helped her to feel more or less safe. And that's just for that hour. But over the weeks of her being my client in therapy, she was able to see week after week what helped her to come to safety, stay in safety. And she was able to see, oh, my defensive, panicky, anxious feelings are decreasing week after week after week. This growth is often missed, but it needs to be talked about in therapy. In therapy, we should be checking in about goals, how things are going, how are our symptoms reduced or increased, stay the same, whatever it is. We should be looking at these things and tracking our progress in therapy. So week after week, we can see a long process, hopefully, or maybe even a short one, of getting more and more self-regulation. So when it comes to the process of safety versus safety medicine, Safety medicine is like, here's your cue of safety and hopefully it'll help you out. But the process of safety is there's teaching involved, there is developing safety, and there's experiencing safety. So in session, we can teach about these things. We can teach about fidgets in session. We can experience safety through fidgeting in session. And we can send somebody home with homework to develop their safety sensations through fidgets they might have at home, or becoming curious about and identifying new things at home that can help them to feel safety. So it's not just one thing, it's an ongoing thing that needs to be taught by us. We help them, we guide them in experiencing in session with their feedback and then making adjustments as we need to. And then giving homework. So it's this longer process of safety. And the whole time they are mindfully experiencing, our clients are mindfully experiencing safety and what that feels like. And when they share it with us, it makes it more real in a way. That's kind of how I put it. It's not just in their mind, it's not just in their body, but now they're actually sharing it out loud with a trusted person, ourselves or us as their therapist. And that just kind of makes it more real. And when you share something like that and you get somebody else who understands or is listening, taking you seriously, can have empathy for you, and they take your feelings and your thoughts and your sensations seriously, and they validate them and they normalize them and they encourage them, that's a much different experience than you get elsewhere outside of therapy. That mindfulness and the sharing it with somebody, I think, is a big part of the process of building safety and not just receiving safety medicine, safety cue medicine. Building safety anchors incorporates all these elements into it. Over the course of the course, I'm guiding people, I'm teaching, I'm assigning practice, ideally daily practice. I'm given a little bit of homework through journaling if that's an optional thing, but there are some journal prompts there. There's opportunities for reflection through journaling. There's mindful noticing and experiencing. So all of these elements are in building safety anchors. You can find that again on justinlmft.com.